Hi, my name's Barbara Longnecker, and I want to welcome you to my favorite monument on the National Mall. This is the Lincoln Memorial. It was dedicated in 1922 to our 16th president, and most of you know what Abraham Lincoln's famous for, right? He saw this country through the Civil War, he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, and his life was cut tragically short by an assassin's bullet when he was at Ford's Theater. But there may be some things that you don't know about Abraham Lincoln that I want to tell you about right now. One of them is he is honored in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Now, you may not think of the great emancipator as someone who belongs with the WWE, but thanks to his long limbs, he was an excellent wrestler in his youth. He stood at 6'4", he weighed 185 pounds. And although we think of him as quite humble and quiet, he was nearly undefeated in 12 years in the wrestling ring. The other thing you may not know is Abraham Lincoln's son was rescued from a near death at a train platform by John Wilkes Booth's brother, Edwin Booth. So we had Robert Todd Lincoln standing on a platform. He was pushed by a crowd of passengers in between the platform and the train. Edwin Booth, standing nearby, scooped him up and saved him from death, just a few months before John Wilkes Booth shot his father. One other thing you may not know is one of our presidents wore a lock of President Lincoln's hair in a ring during his inauguration. John Hay, who was a personal assistant to Abraham Lincoln, spent $100 for 6 strands of Abraham Lincoln's hair during his autopsy. He placed one of those strands under a piece of glass and had it mounted on a ring. Later, John Hay served as Secretary of State for Teddy Roosevelt, and he presented that ring with that lock of hair to Theodore Roosevelt so he could wear that on his inauguration. John Hay knew of the profound admiration that Teddy Roosevelt had for Abraham Lincoln. And as it turns out, when Teddy Roosevelt was 6 years old, he was a witness to the funeral procession of Abraham Lincoln as it was proceeded through the streets of New York City. I'm so pleased to tell you a few of those little gems about Abraham Lincoln, and I hope you can join me as we visit other sites in Washington, D.C., and I can tell you some more stories about this great country's history.